Okay, we are going to block some fabric. What that means is that we're going to put it on grain. So I have here a piece of fabric that I ripped. Make sure you rip it so you get it on the cross grain, and I ripped it on the lengthwise grain as well. So that way it will rip it along 1 yard, because we're trying to bring this to a 90-degree angle on those two outside yarns. And then also, the reason why we block it is because that's the best way to get this 100% on grain. And we work with each individual piece as we do our fitting and draping and stuff. So the other thing is, this is a piece of cotton gingham. It's 100% cotton gingham, and it's kind of lightweight, but this is what we use to fit, because you want something that's 100% cotton so that you can manipulate the yarns and get them to be on grain and look right. And then, because to do fitting or draping, you have to have your fabric perfectly on grain, or you're gonna have problems. The other reason that we use gingham is because I buy it in 1/4 inch squares, so that it also gives us a way to measure. So first thing I do, I've got my piece of fabric, and you'll know what size you need depending on your project. Okay, then I'm gonna put it down on the board, and I'm going to take my iron that generates lots of steam, and when you turn this iron on, plug it in, and you turn it here, and I set it on cotton, so it's right in the middle of between wool and linen, cotton. This will be blinking. Wait till it stops blinking. That means it's hot enough. And then also test and make sure you have enough steam. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm going to first press this flat, because it's got some wrinkles in it and it's going to be hard to pin. And this little edge is kind of coming up, so I just want to make sure that it's nice and flat. And just by looking at it, can you see this is off grain? That's good, so you can see how this helps. Okay, the next thing we do is we take our L square, and I'm going to pin it along this edge. And I want to make sure, sometimes these little edges kind of curve out at the very edge, like where you've ripped it. Maybe it shocked it or something. So I just want to make sure that we get those straight. Oh, and use this is a press board, so you want to use the press board, flat press board. Okay, so actually I'm going to start with the selvage, which makes sense because the selvage doesn't move, but look how crooked that is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this way, and I'm going to bring my ruler, and I'm going to put it right at the line where this is. Okay, and I'm going to do it not where the fringe is, but where the actual weaving starts. Okay, and I'm going to press this again really quick, because some of those little fringe things are facing the wrong way. Okay, all right, so I'm going to put this, well, okay, I've got to get this nice and straight here on the line. So there it is. Okay. All right, and now that I have it on the line, and I've got this right where I want it as well, then I can start pinning. Okay, look, here's some nice pins in a little pin cushion. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it straight along this line. So, and I'm going to pin it like this so that it will stay. And I'm going to pin that every few inches. Okay, and so far I'm doing the first edge, so it should, this is the easy side, the first side. Okay, I'm gonna just do this, dump a few here, that's, okay. So, because I've lined this up, I've gotta line this up to match. Okay, there we go. Okay, make sure that's nice and straight there. Okay, about every 2 inches or so, put that down. Okay, so I've got that nice and straight. Now I'm gonna line this one straight, and you can see this is like way off, so I'm gonna have to pull that out. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that out to match that up. Okay, see how I've got that matched up? Keep this where it's at, pull that out, and now I'm ready to go ahead and pin that. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now I need to finish up this side. So I'm going to put my ruler here, the other L square, and line this up exactly so that that matches. And I've got to pull that out, see, to match up, and then I got to pull this in to match up with that side. So, okay, pin it again. Okay, so look at how beautiful. At least two sides are beautiful. The rest, not so much. Okay, now I'm gonna bring this ruler and I'm gonna match that up to here, to where it's supposed to go. And then I've got to bring that over, okay? Can you see how that's gotta come straight there? So now it starts getting a little tricky. Okay, so I'm just putting in my pins. And I've got to bring that over, okay, because I'm going to keep my ruler straight. And, okay, bring this over. See, I'm bringing that, I'm kind of pulling it a little bit at this point. But I'm keeping this smooth, like I'm keeping that smooth here. Whoops. Okay, so this is, you just got to keep this smooth along here. Do not worry about what's happening in here. We don't care about that. We will later. Right now, we'll come back to that. And that's easy to fix. This is straight, the straight grain. So we got to get that smooth. Okay. And here's this. And this piece of fabric, we bought it. It's not the best quality because it is quite off grain. Let's see, that needs to be nice and smooth right there. Okay, there, very nice. Now let's see how this looks here. When I put this here, okay, we should be able to get that smooth. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. So we just keep pinning that, see, right up to there. See, and see how I'm just kind of bringing it over, and we've got this straight. I can tell that this is straight because I've got it on top of this other ruler. Okay, now this, okay, so I'm just bringing that up to meet the ruler. Here we go. And what happened here? Wait, this needs to come up a little ways. Okay, and then this could come down a ways. So we're off a little bit here. So I'm just gonna do this, and I might have to take a few out to get that to line up. There we go. Okay, and then I can, those should be okay. Okay. So, can you see, and we now have a square. Gee, once I do that, it looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? So, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the iron and I'm gonna start doing some spinning. And then, this is bias direction. And so bias, as you know, moves, has give. And so anything that's because it's 100% cotton, I can even just shrink it a little bit to fit. So I just got to get that nice and straight. Okay. Don't be afraid to use steam. We like steam. Okay. All right. How does that look? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I think we're good. So we can just check it and make sure we've got 90-degree angles here. And that does look good. This needs to come over just a little bit. So I'm gonna try pushing that over. There, I think we're good. Okay, that looks great. Okay, now let's check another side. Let's check this side. And then the thing is, don't be in a hurry to take your pins off because you need it to cool down. So it's kind of like we've set it where, and see, look at that. Look at that, would you? 90-degree angle. Fantastic. And let's go over here. And that looks good. See, look at that. That looks really good. This isn't pinned down, but that matches up. Okay, so I think we've got it really good. And you know what? When we started, this looked really off, this piece. I thought it would be a lot harder than this because it's pretty good actually. So what you're gonna do, you wanna make sure you block this and give it time to cool before your class starts. So now I'm just gonna leave it here with a little note that says, do not touch or else. No, maybe I could draw something of power on there so they'll leave it alone. But I think now I'm just gonna let it cool and then we'll look at it again. I wanna look at this one because I think that could come over just a teeny bit. There, that looks good. Okay, all right. So, cool down, cool down. Okay, I'm gonna take it out now. It could probably cool for another 10 minutes. But I wanna show you how it looks once we get it off the press board. And so, yeah, and then I wanna show you how to fold it as well. Okay, so there it is. Doesn't that look beautiful? Nice and straight, grain, perfect. Okay, now if I was going to use this later for draping, you want to fold it as little as possible. So I'm kind of folding it like a fan. That way one area will not fold more than once. Because if I fold it in half and half again, but if I do that, that will kind of help to keep that shape. And then what I can do is I can come over to the dress form. So if it's for draping, I can just put it like this, and this is ready for when class starts now to drape. Or if you are doing this to start fitting, you can still put it on a dress form. Or you could put it in your tote tray. Let's get these out. And you could just kind of go like this and put it in your tote tray. I mean, I could do it again here like that, but if you can leave it like this, that's the best. Okay, there we are, ready to go.